Thank you. Uh, it's quite a familiar crowd here, so you guys might have seen most of the stuff that I'm going to show, except the new stuff. But I planned it like a Halahala run-through kind of thing, not going into the books, and talking about the last 3 years' work mostly. These are just the covers of the first 3 books. The second book has like 5 short stories. So the totem on the side, I just like the idea, so I wanted to show it. So each story gets a cut of that totem as you go through the book. This is Asperus. I think it's come from my advertising days or my dealing with it. So primary question being, who put the dream in your head that you're following? Whose dream is it that you're after? That kind of thing. Now we come to the Halahala face. This is a recent depiction of the Halahala universe. Somewhere in the middle stretch in the darkness, you'll see those dots. There's a universe there. And one of those planets is where most of our stories are set, but nowadays there are many space travel stories and stuff, and people coming from other worlds. So I had to like stretch out the universe a little bit, but there is no world as such. There is no map. It's more like a mindscape, and it's a fantasy world because it sort of morphs itself to whatever story you're telling. So whatever background is needed for that story, that becomes the focus of the whole world. So that's the idea I'm working with, and that's what I'm trying to develop. This is a new series of drawings that I did. It's just to put that thought in perspective. It's a Huxley quote that I read in Heaven and Hell, one of the essays. Like the Earth of 100 years ago, our mind still has its darkest Africas, its unmapped Borneos and Amazonian basins. So it was like encouraging you to take a trip. It was also along with Dose of Perception, but I think Heaven and Hell was much more cooler. This is going back in time. This is just to show you like there are different worlds and different stories happening in Halahala. Over the last 3 years, it's been a very hectic ride in Halahala, but mostly nobody outside my room knows about it. So this is a comic that's been running in the Rolling Stone magazine. It stopped last year after 8.5 years or something, because I had about 3 years money to get, so I stopped it. But I just want to go through this. This is the crux of the story that stretched out into this whole thing. 2 wandering musicians were lost in an endless desert. They ran out of food and water. Soon their legs could go no further. Dying of thirst, they decided to play the music and welcome the end. But the music made them feel better, and they played on into the night. The songs grew louder, and they danced harder. The ground shook and opened up. The music was so loud, it woke up the sleeping land. Streams gushed out from sand dunes. Amazed, they played on and watched the land come alive. By dawn, amidst honey and fruits, they were tired and hungry no more. It's just a little part from there. It's basically a rock music ride. And the best part is all the mascots that my art was a lot influenced by album art covers that I used to copy and stuff. So I think I wanted a story where all your mascots came alive and supported the rocker, the underdog guy. So all Eddie and Snaggletooth and all these gory fellows come to his aid. This is just to show you another side. It's called Crickex. It's a world of cricket, and basically, if you don't know cricket and if you're not good at it, or if you're not a professional fan, you just get left out of the world. So, funnily, it was a comic commissioned by ESPN Cricinfo for a Cricket Monthly magazine that they were running. They thought they needed more clicks on their pages other than the score page. So they had us do this comic, and they paid us pretty decently. It's me and my friend Chaco. So the final drawings are all Chaco's. I've just done this penciling and the scripts. I have a lot of cricket baggage because my dad wanted me to be a cricketer, so I could put out all that frustration in this. It was nicely hidden at the bottom of the website. So I have the distinction of having done a cricket comic, which even after being such a fiery topic, it didn't really get through anyway. But I have all of it with me, and we are releasing it with some add-on stuff now. This is another lost hero in Halahala, Friday Man. He's one of the older heroes who never came out, but he's lost on an island. He was a superhero with a cape and everything, but the cape tore and he landed on this island, so he's been stranded there. There's no way to get out, and he's kind of losing it, figuring it out in that island because there's nobody else there. So he has these adventures of aliens coming to the island, or like it could the sea is a big adversary throughout the whole thing. So the sea gets a personality, and it's his interaction with the sea. Here he's trying to get the mango, which is a whole mango series, but like the sea gets it every time, and then he catches the sea and stuff. Slowly, Halahala landscape is changing. This is a page from a short called Bangaloids I did for a collection called Bangalore Graphic Novel. It's set in the future, so it was just like a thought from 20 years ahead or something, and the resources are all sucked dry, as we know, and Bangalore pretty much looks like this. So it's the generation then asking the generation before, how could they choose this for their children? Because since we've decided to like go all out in a cloud of smoke, I think like the people surviving would ask that question. So as this mindscape is changing over there, I want to address more mainstream things also. So to bring that in, I've always been a fan of Mad magazine and Adbusters and stuff. So stringing between Mad and Adbusters, I was trying to create something, a platform for satire, spoof, to say it's okay also. And we came up with Brain Dead. So the idea was from a few friends who had worked with me in Greenpeace from Europe, and one guy from Mexico. It's something like this that they used to have even before the time of all the social media things, and that's what I saw in 2002-03. So I've been talking to them about it, and some of the ideas have come from them. So we have a few friends helping out. We put up a lot of stuff every week now. We do campaigns on general stuff. There was a project Vandalize, which took off on all kinds of logos and just spoofing on. And we invited people to spoof on logos. A lot of people sent. It was quite nice. Then God and your general develop your brain. So if you have those twisted knots in your brain, you call these people. They'll come and straighten it out and conform better. We sell anything. So, it's like Orwell's dilemma. I think Che is having a much harder time in his grave, seeing all the t-shirts. A lot of people have told me that he's a rock star, including a pub owner who wanted me to paint him. So the mindscape is getting a little darker there, and this is what comes out of. This became like a weekly newspaper format kind of thing that I was doing online, Dystopian Times. So that's one. And then slowly the people are becoming sheep. We had a whole sheep series. It's also kind of nice. Then demonetization hit Rashtriya. So Rashtriya is this country in Halahala, which has no connection with anything we know, nothing. So, and then free speech and dissent are sort of no. And then we have the national anthem. You can see. And so I had a series spoofing on the Swachh Bharat logo with this Watch Bharat thing. And I've been monitoring how the posts do on my page also. So suddenly there's this, it was kind of like a filler, that one. It had the Watch Bharat eyes and these red beams coming out from there. And it said, report any anti-national activity. And at the bottom it says UID or DIE. And suddenly that became really popular. So I was trying to track where that went. And actually the UID guys have shared it. And that's where all the the views are coming from. So a lot of the stuff we do like this it's getting shared by both sides. Like, sometimes this is the image that they want also, you know. So it's a bit funny. But yeah, satire has that problem. So it went from there to Rashtraman, who I made in 2015. But I didn't have enough material. I thought I should have a whole lot buffer stuff before I start putting it out. So I was waiting, and then this JNU thing happened early 2016. That's when I put it out. This is the first comic that came out. Basically, radicals create ruckus in Rashtriya. Rashtraman goes, catches them, puts them in. You can see that he's just left his tea in the morning. So we must be careful these days. That's why I have green tea every morning. It has antioxidants that arrest the free radicals in my body while I take care of Rashtriya. It's actually there on green tea packets, so I didn't know what it was in the beginning, so I thought it was bad to call them free radicals in the body. You know, it's just a conditioning that is somehow working on you. So yeah, free speech thing and the charge thing. This I thought is what the general language looks like. It's like fuck you to the small guy. So Rashtraman is totally for that. So which brings me to the superhero idea also. I see the superhero as a very right-wing extreme fellow. So and there's always so much effort trying to justify the superhero. Like, oh, he's such a good guy or a good-looking guy, or like he saves the damsel distress, all that stuff. Actually speaking, he's standing for a lot of things behind it. He's telling kids that, you know, certain wars were okay in the past. You see Captain America and Superman like fighting alongside the US Army in Vietnam and places like that. So you can see where the agenda is going. So this is part of that. Actually, yeah, there was another version with Modi's picture also, but that nobody wanted to put out, so I put out this one. So Rashtraman, he's taking care of Rashtriya really well, and there's a certain part of Rashtriya, it's sort of like independent on its own because it's run by cows. So there we have the prince, cowboy, half cow, all that, yeah. Gavraksha. Government is a mother, to not insult the government. Then in Rashtriya we realized that media is also as important. So we got this guy called Propagandhi. So Propagandhi comes and he's a master of all these things, and he proves it because earlier he had appeared in Rashtraman season 1, which was the News Laundry had put it up for like 3-4 months. He was a villain that time, and that time he was called Propagandu. And now after that, he's recently, like, the leader of Rashtriya called up Rashtraman and said, like, you know, you need this guy's help and everything, and brought him. He actually solved the issue at the end of season 2. So now he's Propagandhi, and he's got a book also. So my new experiments with truth. That's good. And then they're very active online also. So, you know. The Lotus is a book that's should be out in Jan. I've been on it for 3 years, and that's what started this extra effort in Halahala, because I got a grant from IFA and I sort of decided to like not go after any commercial work for some time and just see like how I could really lose myself in that world. All these things came up in that time, and I made a little more, but this is where we started 3 years back. It was, of course, the city was supposed to be like this really massive city, and there was this feel of all these pipes and things inside. There's no nature really. So these are just like sketches I tried out with characters and all that. There's a lot of it. I never did so many storyboards before. There are 4 entire storyboards I worked out. Then I developed a script, a sort of type for writing the parts in it, because it's it adds to the voice. I can't reveal anymore. I used to like figure out all the runes and all before the movies came out from Tolkien books, and there are some nice things there that I wanted to bring in here, but I think it makes it tough for the reader in the beginning, so I had to simplify it a lot. Actually, my first script was like totally illegible and it was really cool, but like, now I have to like make it look a little readable, because like th is really stupid. You have to keep writing th all the time, again and again. You can have one symbol for it; it'll be much easier. Things like that. These are little icons that are there through the book. So everything means lotus, but it's a different way of depicting a lotus. So it generally looks like you have choice, but you have choice in choosing which lotus you want. So this is the city. They're all full-page illustrations with some text. Most pages have like one line of text or something. There's just some shots from it. I have a little video at the end, so I just finished with that. Characters, I had to like figure out a way, because it's a time when sunlight is not there and people are restricted in like small areas, so they have grown smaller and skin and all is like all gone. So I had to draw. I tried to draw every character with a 3.5 to 4 heads proportion, so you get larger heads and diminutive bodies. There's also, it's the dawn of new life in Halahala. So humans have kind of like are finishing off, and there is new life trying to get out, but humans are strangling that also. And the AI, the machines that they leave behind, is like a legacy, which makes it even more tougher for the new life. This is actually meant to be the last frame, to show that, you know, this is where we go type thing. But I want to go to the video now. Oh. This one has music from a friend. I just borrowed the music and used it. The other one, I have no rights over the music. It's an earth track. I'm going to change it and put my own music to it. It's kind of like a tribute to the woodcut artists, Masaril and Ward and all. So that's why they follow the full page thing. There's also this sound no hero. He has not put in his sound. So it won't be so sweet and happy sounding. I want to cut it a little bit. There's a lot of like sounds that we are adding. I've chosen the sounds. With that, it'll be a little more of my product. Yeah. And that's about it. Ta-da! Okay. Thanks.